The Bonelord. You may have seen him around in Inscryption, but he's kind of a spooky entity that just exists throughout this card game. While he isn't exactly a scribe like the other four major characters, it's very clear there's something a little more going on here. Just be absolutely upfront, spoiler alert! I know lots of people are talking about Inscryption right now, and the game really is the best if you experience it on your own, so I highly encourage you to go do that yourself. What's up guys, it's Marks here, and this is going to be a guide on the Bonelord Easter eggs that can be found all throughout each act of Inscryption. I just wanted to kick this video off by directly mentioning that this is a very surface level guide. If you've looked it up, there's a whole ARG that exists for Inscryption, and the Bonelord is a pretty big part of it. I'll talk about it briefly at the end, with some speculation on my end of what's going on, but feel free to dive into that afterwards. Alright, so in Act 1, you'll notice that the Bonelord can be activated if you go to one of those fun little spots on the map that sacrifices a card. In exchange for a card, you'll be given a bone card, which will start you off with a bone each and every battle. After you do a couple of runs, you'll notice that a skull will appear beside the door, and if you go up and press on it enough, its eyes will turn red. Neat, but honestly there's nothing too special about it in Act 1. It is worth mentioning that you can sacrifice a goat, and instead of just starting out with one bone token, you'll start out with 4, which is honestly kind of nice. And then we go into Act 2, where things get a little bit more difficult and a little bit more interesting. Those two usually go hand in hand. So what you want to do is go to Grimora's place in the bottom right of the map and beat the skeleton on the right that's right beside a staircase. When you go down the staircase, you'll see a coffin, and upon interacting with it, a suspicious figure with 2 glowing red eyes will ask you for an offering. What is this offering exactly? Well, this offering is the Ancient Obol, which can be acquired by combining 2 halves of a whole on your side of the board. While you can find these halves in card packs randomly, you can also just go to the store on the left side of Grimora's domain, and if you keep purchasing the bottom right corner, both should come up. Now to get the completed Ancient Obol, you just have to play them side by side to each other in combat, obviously facing the right direction. Well, you can pretty much do this wherever. There's an easy trick to farm it if you go to Magnificus's tower. As long as you've beaten one boss already, you should have access to the left side of the map. Then make your way to the second floor where a training dummy will be just hanging out there. This training dummy is kind of awesome because it doesn't attack or do anything, so you can just kind of keep cycling cards while getting bones until you have enough to summon the 2 pieces side by side. Once you've got your completed Ancient Obol, head back down to the basement of the crypt and offer it up. After descending further and walking through an oddly placed ribcage with cards in his pocket, more on that later, you'll see the Bonelord, where he'll give you a quick spiel about the old data. After the dialogue, you'll get the Bonelord's femur, giving you a bone at the start of each battle, and the Bonelord's horn, a 1/1 card where you can spend energy to get bones. However, you'll also get this weird looking blue key, which is a lot larger than your sprite here, and you're just told that its use cannot yet be understood. Alright, now we head over into Act number 3, where things take a very weird turn. In Act 3, make your way down to the Filthy Corpse world in the bottom right side of Botopia. You'll notice a lot of parallels between Botopia and Act number 2. Once you're there, head right and up, finish the battle if you haven't finished it previously, and once you go up into the room, you'll see a blue lock, similar to the blue key you picked up in Act 2. When you put the key inside the lock, you'll open up a new section where the Bonelord will appear once again. This time, he'll share some secrets of the old data with Luke Carter, except he'll say that it can't be recorded, and so you're just kind of shown a black screen, and then you get to hear Luke freaking out afterwards.
What the fuck, man?
Not much more explanation. That appears to be all the Bonelord has to offer us in this game. But of course, now that we've gone over the physical Easter eggs, let's talk a little bit more about what's going on. While the 4 scribes have been granted intelligence because of the old data, it's very likely the Bonelord has also been given something too. At multiple points, he talks about its power, while still being incomprehensible to himself. Clearly, well, he's put something together and he appreciates the power that comes from the old data. Thus, while the entities of the game fear the old data, the Bonelord seems the only one who really relishes in its power. Think similar to a cult leader trying to bring back the devil or something like that. But of course, it goes deeper. There's actually a full ARG for Inscryption, where the Bonelord plays a big role in deciphering the codes. Wondering what that giant ribcage was doing there? Wonder what the heck the Bonelord was doing in part number 3? Well, some of these answers actually make a little bit more sense once you go into the ARG. Namely, there are hints for some of the parts of the puzzle here. Once again, the link is given down below in the description, and it is really cool to see all of the hard work that has kind of gone into things. And on top of that too, like, the Bonelord actually plays a pretty big role in getting things together. There's even a part where where you have to modify some of the in-game code, and then when you go back and play part number 1, then the Bonelord will present you new text, and it's fucking wild. Anyways, that's gonna wrap up this video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you like this content, then make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, all that wonderful YouTube algorithm-y stuff. I'm finishing up a video on the secret boss for Inscryption, so you're gonna wanna make sure to turn on the notification bell so you find out when to get that. Well, till next time, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye guys.